Welcome to the Oddity Shop, where the bizarre is always on sale.
What's up, oddballs? Welcome back to the Oddity Shop. I am one of the two hosts, Zach, sitting here with Kara, and this is the show where we tell you creepy, odd, weird, strange, paranormal, murdery stories. I think we said murdery last week, from around the globe.
Hello.
What the hell is up with you, Kara?
You know, I had something that I needed to tell you, and all day I was like, don't write it down because I'm going to remember. Don't need to write it down. Guess what? No clue.
You'll text me the second we're done recording and let me know what it was.
Yeah, I'm really trying to... I have no idea. So,
all right.
That?
All right. Perfect.
It's almost Christmas. We're both dying because it just needs to be...
It is almost Christmas.
It's one of those things where I want it to be over,
but
then it's kind of like, dang, that came so fast, but it's stressful.
I just feel like I've been saying since June that I can't wait for the next month because life is going to calm down, and it just fucking hasn't. But, you know, that's life, and we roll with it. Yeah, so for us, it's Christmas in a couple days.
What, like five or something? Yeah.
5 days. For most people, they are well past Christmas listening, though. So hopefully you all enjoyed your Christmas.
Hopefully got good gifts.
I know I started to tell you, but I'm proud of myself.
What did you do?
Because at age 30 years old, I finally learned how to do a beard fade. And I didn't mess it up so badly that I cut off my entire beard, which is what happened the last few times I've tried.
Oh, where did we get that beard oil? Do you remember?
It was a vendor at the Mid-Michigan Paracon, which is an odd place to buy beard oil, but I cannot remember their name.
I can't either, because you like it, which is good.
I do like it. It is actually a really good product. I'll have to, maybe we'll post it on socials. But other than that, in Christmas and just working and trying to get ahead of everything so I can actually take 2 weeks off and enjoy it. Well, 2 weeks off of not work or my other job. I'm making my chores lighter for 2 weeks.
I'm just like, what are we talking about? Jeez Louise.
I don't know. I'm just making my life as less busy as possible for the next 2 weeks by packing it out.
This is...
Yeah, we're really exciting. This is why we need y'all to write in some stories and things for us to talk about because our lives are boring. So even at this point, just like, let us know the exciting things going on in your lives so we can live vicariously.
Yeah, because clearly we've got nothing going on.
We got nothing.
Yikes.
We said it, I think, last week or 2 weeks ago, but we need to get a vacation on the books so we can look forward to something.
Yeah, where are we going?
Costa Rica and just never coming back.
I don't know if I want to stay in Costa... Well, I guess we don't have to stay there. We're just not coming back home.
But it's a lot easier to get citizenship there than most other countries. Okay. And I hear there's a lot of stray dogs, so... True.
Okay, so Costa Rica it is for the dogs.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
There we go. All right. That's our plan. We're sticking to it.
Okay.
All right. What do you got for me this week?
Oh my God, I don't have a question for you. Oh, sugar butt.
My question for you is, are you kidding me?
I just in this moment realized.
You haven't messed that up in months.
Damn.
I'm going to let you think for a second. Or are we just going
God, I'm trying to think and now I'm just like, this is just all I can think of. What is something that you're hoping, since we haven't had Christmas yet, that you're maybe hoping that you get for Christmas present?
My parents have always been huge on Christmas, and they always kill it with the gifts. But the last couple of years, as they have gotten way craftier, I get a lot of handmade stuff from them. So mom does a lot of quilting and sewing. Dad does a lot of woodworking stuff. And the last couple of years, I've gotten really, really cool handmade stuff from them. And that's what I'm most looking forward to.
Now watch, you're not going to get one.
Oh, no, they've already teased it. I know I am.
I'm so excited that I can't take them. Okay. All right. Now are we ready?
We're ready. Oh, that was a question. You could have just asked me if I was ready.
You would have been. No, you wouldn't have. You'd be like, that's a cop-out.
No, I wouldn't have.
We're going to start with a little bit of history. Okay. So.
You sound like me.
I'm trying. You know what? I want to be more like, yeah. That's my New Year's resolution. Are we in the new year now?
Who wouldn't want to be more like me?
Ew. Okay. So. We are going to talk about we're going to talk about the Wampanoag tribe. Have you heard? Does this sound familiar?
Yeah.
Okay. I bet a lot of people are like, no, and that's terrible. But that's okay.
Probably so.
So their nation once included all of southeastern Massachusetts. Southeastern Massachusetts and eastern Rhode Island. So Wampanoag means people of the first light, which I kind of like. But also that I started thinking about it and I was like, people of the first light. The fuck does that mean?
I mean, I'm sure it's something highly spiritual to them.
I know. No, I think it's cool. I like it. But then I was like, I love that meaning. And then I was like, wait, but what does that actually mean? Okay.
What does it mean?
Exactly. Okay. So in the 1600s, there were as many as 40,000 people within the 67 villages. In 1620, the Pilgrims arrived in Plymouth. The Wampanoag people taught them how to survive their first winters. Remember the first Thanksgiving? Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So that just could be an entire episode in itself, but yes. So now I'm sure some of you are like, oh shit. Okay.
Where they didn't even have turkey?
That's your main concern.
I mean, yeah, I'll take that back. No,
Okay.
It's not my main concern, but it's still upsetting.
Yeah, so Wampanoag people are still present today, and I'm probably saying it wrong. I know it's Wampanoag.
Usually I come in clutch with the words.
I abbreviated it too, and I said it 400 times. Okay, so Wampanoag people are still present today, and we're going to talk about something that you've been waiting for. Don't just hold on. Hold on. Okay, so Maushop is a deity who created the landmass that we know as Cape Cod. Okay, so Maushop loved the Wampanoag tribe. He was described as a lovable giant. He was, in fact, a giant. And the people loved him just as much as he loved, oh my God, why can't I talk today? They loved him just as much as he loved them. Okay, so it was like they adored each other. Okay. And it was said that he was the one that actually taught them how to survive on the land originally. So Maushop and his wife and their pet frog, I don't know their pet frog's name, they lived in harmony with the Wampanoag people. Cue the chaos. Drum roll, please. Puckwudgies.
Oh.
What?
Hold on. I think I actually have.
Do you have a drum roll?
Oh, but it's not playing.
Oh.
Right before this episode, I was looking at all the different settings on our software, and there is a drum roll, but now, of course, it's not drumming.
It's okay. You can edit it in. All right. So Puckwudgies, which I don't know why in my brain, every time I tell myself or talk to myself about Puckwudgies. Don't ask me why, but in my head, I say it like Hot Pockets, Puckwudgies.
Oh, makes sense.
I don't know why though. Okay. Puckwudgies also got along with the tribe. However, they soon became enraged by jealousy. You see, they were not fond of the love and affection that the Wampanoag people were giving to Maushop. Now, for those that don't know, like Zach, what a Puckwudgie is, let me explain.
Honestly, since the first time you mentioned them, I have held myself off from researching them so I could go into this fresh.
Okay. So Puckwudgie translates into person of the wilderness or little wild man of the woods that vanishes. And I would like to have that be my identifier.
I would like that to be written on my tombstone.
Little man of the woods that vanishes.
Yes.
You might think of them as a cryptid or a fairy, fae, a troll, or even a dwarf. Okay, Puckwudgies stand about knee height and they can go up to about 3 feet tall. As they resemble a human-looking creature in a way, they also have longer, like bigger ears, sometimes like almost like pointed like an elf. And they have a bigger nose, like they look like a person, but kind of like a weird person. That was so fucking stupid.
I think I've got the mental image though.
Like their nose, their fingers are all longer. They often are described as having grayish brown skin, but smooth skin like a human. So it's not like rough or whatever, but it's smooth. Okay. The biggest differentiator, say it?
Differentiator.
Thank you. Comes from the top of their head all the way down their back. They are covered in spines, resembling a porcupine, and often mistaken from behind to be that of a porcupine. So from the back, they look like a little porcupine, which porcupines are cute.
From the couple pictures I have seen of them from when we were talking, that's like what sticks out to me.
Yeah, they look like a
literally
little troll,
sticks out.
Dwarf.
Like I don't remember their faces, but I remember porcupine back.
I guess if you're a Harry Potter fan in one of the movies, I guess there was Puckwudgies. Or a Puckwudgie.
Really?
I don't know which one, but I read that.
Hmm.
Okay, so now that we're clear on that, jealousy from the Puckwudgies turned into mischief. So Puckwudgies would often play tricks on the humans. And can you just imagine like a little porcupine man like pinching you, like fucking with you? Like,
I'm going to try not to imagine that. I don't know why that just left me speechless when you said that, because I'm like,
well, because that's kind of what happened. Like, they're all jealous, and then they started just kind of like playing tricks on everybody and just being really mischievous and like pinching and kicking and just like being little brats. But they're like little porcupines with noses. I mean, like human, like.
I mean, I would imagine a porcupine.
I know, that's why okay. Anyway. Okay. So now these pranks, though, they turned a little more sinister at a time as time went on. And before you know it, the tribe was meeting with Maushop's wife for further assistance. Squanet was Maushop's wife, and she relayed the terrors that the Puckwudgies were like wreaking havoc on the tribe, and she relayed them to her husband. Soon, all the Puckwudgies were gathered and spoken to by Maushop and were ultimately exiled. So, this is funny. Once gathered, Maushop flung each Puckwudgie as far as he could. And then that's why they say that it's like the thought as to why now they're seen kind of everywhere, like in India and like all these places. Because he just
got thrown.
Plop.
All right.
Now,
I do love Native American folklore because it's like so literal in such a strange way.
I just love it so much. It makes me really happy stuff. I don't know. Like, I love reading stuff like this. Okay. So he flings little shits. Okay. So now, as you can imagine, though, these little shitheads found their way back. Only this time it was worse. Before, it was just your minor food stealing, kidnapping children, pushing people off cliffs, harmless stuff. But once back and more enraged, the Puckwudgies wanted revenge. And they became more malevolent and killed Maushop's 5 sons.
Oh.
Yeah.
All he did was fling them a little bit across the world.
I know. It's really sad. So now at some point, though, Maushop kind of disappeared from the Wampanoag folklore. And this is kind of thought because people thought that the Puckwudgies actually killed him too, because it kind of coincided. Like, basically, once, like, reading in their folklore, once he starts to disappear, you realize that it's kind of in that timeline. So people think that this is proof that the Puckwudgies also killed him. So this is essentially the origin story of where we get the bad little Puckwudgies. Everywhere kind of has like their version of Puckwudgies, but this is kind of like where it originated.
Okay.
So Puckwudgies are still a bit disgruntled with humans. They have not gotten over all of this. And so, yeah.
That never goes well for humans.
They be holding a grudge. So my advice, if you cross paths with one, leave it be. They might still mess with you, but if you annoy them, it'll be worse. So if you're just like strolling down the street and you see a little porcupine man, just keep on going. It might still like, kick you or tease you or whatever, try to play a trick on you. But if you just like mind your own business and don't like entertain it or don't be mean or annoy it, it'll be like, 10 times less of an issue.
Why does it kind of give me a little bit of like Nain Rouge vibes?
Kind of.
Remember, like the guy was supposed to leave him alone?
Yeah,
instead he bopped him on the head, and then it turned into a whole thing.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. That's hilarious. What would you do if you saw one?
Well, after what you just said,
I know, but would you be like, "Oh,
I would probably." God. First of all, I would get really excited. Then I would have to remind myself, you can't talk to the Puckwudgie. You got to ignore it because Kara told me to. And then hope that it. Well, I was gonna say I hope that it doesn't kick me, but I kind of hope that it would kick me. Like, how many people can be like, yo, I got kicked by a Puckwudgie?
I just love that their names are Puckwudgies. And that makes me think that, like, to me, Puckwudgie just seems, like, cute. And, like, I just want to, like, squeeze your little dicks,
I hate that they're not friendly.
I would make one friendly to me. So, I just lost my spot. Okay. So, you might be thinking, though, okay, so they have spikes. That might hurt. They might steal my food. That would suck. Food prices skyrocketed. The cliff part would not be convenient. However,
not at all.
Puckwudgies are a serious issue if messed with. Okay?
Worse than being pushed off a cliff?
These little things are wild. Wild, okay? They can create fire at will, so they just make fireballs.
Okay. I could see how that could be bad news.
So Puckwudgies can appear and disappear as they please. And often just to confuse humans and drive them crazy. I wish I could make fireballs, though.
They are little
balls
tricksters.
of fire.
I mean, they kind of sound fitting for Harry Potter, even though I don't remember them being in there.
Yeah. Oh, and they love, though, to launch poisonous arrows. But, like, little ones.
Oh.
Little poisonous arrows. Because they're little.
Oh, my God. I'm sorry. This is a nerd moment. There's a version of them in Diablo 3. There's, like, these little porcupine dudes who shoot poison darts, and I've never noticed that they're basically supposed to be Puckwudgies.
What are you supposed to do? Just get past them? Or like
no, you
what?
have to kill them. They're well, the whole game is fighting demon spawn.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, so they're little Puckwudgies. Except
for they're like 5 foot tall or bigger.
Well,
but everything else is very Puckwudgie-esque.
I mean, I'm sure some Puckwudgies can be taller than 3 feet, but that's just like, Okay, and sometimes they like attack you with little daggers, which that's annoying. If you're gonna dagger me,
but that
dagger
also
me.
Seems like right up there.
I know. Throwing sand in your eyes to blind you is a good trick of theirs.
And that's just a dick move.
That's why these are little shits. They're wild. Okay, I'm sorry. The range of like, I'm going to manifest a fireball and throw it at you to just like, you know what, I'm going to kick sand in your eye. You just never know what you're going to get.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I would rather have the sand than stabbing or being pushed off a cliff, but still none of it sounds great.
No, it doesn't. But like, think of like little daggers. Like, that's probably just so annoying.
Ugh.
Like just little stabs. Like, get the fuck off my ankle. Like, little ankle biters. Puckwudgies, don't come for me. I love you. Okay, so Puckwudgies love magic and using it to lure you to your death. They also like to plant thoughts.
They so mean?
I know. They also like to plant thoughts of like offing yourself in your mind.
Okay, so going back to the Day at Love Pass episode where you first told me about them, it makes sense. They did it could have been them. They did try to lure people and they did die. We're not ruling them out. Okay, sorry. Go back.
No, you're fine. Oh, but this is the best part. Did I mention that they can shapeshift? Because they can.
No.
Okay, they usually pick like large, scary animals to present as like a cougar or something. However, they're often known to choose a family member of yours and like call you kind of like a flesh pedestrian.
Yeah, now we're getting into flesh pedestrian territory.
Or a Wendigo.
Yeah.
Or they just like, they'll pick to be like your pet, like to change into your pet. And yes, and like lure you into the woods or wherever. Their range of mischief, if you will, is unsettling, but hilarious. I love it.
Are there really as many creatures as we talk about, like the flesh pedestrians, the dogman, and the Puckwudgies, or is it just one thing that is taking on all these different forms?
That is kind of a thing, and I think we will eventually do episodes on Wendigo and Skinwalker, because that is commonly brought up with Puckwudgies, is that they are very, very similar as into certain things that they do present as things like that. So that's kind of like a thought, is it just in different cultures it is a little bit different, just a little bit different, but like, yeah, the same essentially, whatever you want to call this thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a possibility.
I don't know. I think my favorite thing is just thinking of getting like a little fireball or like a little arrow shot at me from like just a little porcupine man. Like, I'm not saying
that's your favorite thing.
I'm not saying that I want that to happen to me, but like, would I be mad about it after? No, I don't think I would.
Depends on how poisonous the dart is.
Oh, that's true. They are poisonous. I forgot. We'll just throw a little fireball at me. It's fine.
Okay.
All right. So again, my advice, if you come across a Puckwudgie, just leave it be. Now, I can't leave you without giving you like an encounter.
I knew it.
So, but I just do want to kind of like discuss them a little bit. Like we kind of just touched a little bit, but that's kind of all the information that there is on Puckwudgies, which is crazy because I feel like I do hear them quite a bit, but that's really it about Puckwudgies. They're just really spiteful. They weren't loved. And then they never got over it.
Do they say anything about like the origin of them? Are they like elemental in nature, or were they human?
So no, that's
the thing.
Like that? And that's kind of why people don't know if you consider them a cryptid. A lot of people think that they're more of a fae, like they're in the fae realm. That's a lot of what
the only other thing other than what you told me about them is we went to one talk where they barely mentioned them at one of the cons.
Yeah, I was super excited. Puckwudgies!
And it kind of gives off more of that fae or of the earth type of creature rather than it being like a living organic creature. It's more of
yeah, I would go more fae.
Fae.
That's what I think. Yeah, I was wondering what way you would go. Okay, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I've been debating for a while about telling this one. Backstory. I grew up about a half-hour's drive from Boston in a house that's easily 200 years old. It was built into the side of a hill, and when you first walk in, to your immediate left are stairs to the second floor, and to your immediate right is the living room, which was a bay window. Through a short hallway next to the stairs, with a door is the kitchen, and that splits off to several other doors for the basement, bathroom, backyard, pantry, laundry, and bedroom. In the middle of the kitchen on the right. Sorry, this description doesn't make sense to me, but that's okay.
You're doing great.
Against the kitchen's back wall were two big windows that overlooked the downslope of the hill. And to the right is an old-fashioned lamp built into the wall, with one of those plastic pins that you slide left or right to turn it on and off. I lived in that bedroom, so I won't go into too much of the rest of the layout. I don't know why, this is me talking, not in this scenario. I don't know why it really begs me when people, but I do too, like when people try to explain the layout of something or like...
This isn't the first time you've brought that
because
up. I find that so funny. It's a pet peeve of yours.
It's not even a pet peeve, but do you get what I mean? Because it's like, when I'm explaining a layout that you've never been to, in my head, it makes complete sense because I'm there every single day. And to another person, they're like, I cannot even talk. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh, I just agree.
Right. But do you get what I mean? And that's why it's like when you're writing something like this.
I have no actual mental image.
I have no image of what this person just said. Like they could have probably left all of this out and it would have been okay. Okay. So 15 years ago, my mom used to go to work at 3 a.m. in the morning. I was always a night owl, and I remember it was a month before Easter, and it was a Saturday because I didn't have school. She had already gone, and it was getting close to 4 a.m. So I went to turn off the little lamp and go to bed. I took my glasses off and went into the kitchen, and I hear a little clicking and look to my left towards the open doorway to the living room. It was my German Shepherd, Jade, who always slept in my bed. So I leaned forward and said, "What are you doing out here, Jade?" Just then, I heard my dog jump off my bed from my room. That was when I realized I was looking at most certainly not my dog. It stood perhaps 3 feet tall, on 2 legs, and had wrinkled skin. It had somewhat leathery, pointed ears, and stuck out from its head had reddish-brown hair. It had a devilish look, and could see the individual hair, and I could see the individual hairs, even a widow's peak, through the soft lamplight into the room beyond, and it wore what looked like hides to me. It even had some kind of moccasins or boots on, enough that they clicked on the tile when it walked. The thing took a few waddled steps towards me and outstretched its hands, like you picture in your head of a monster movie. I did the only thing I could do. Being 16 with no cell phone, no camera, and nobody home. "You're not Jade!" I ran to my room, slammed and locked the door, and kept my light on, not leaving until the sun came up. I didn't go to bed until that afternoon when my mom came home. I don't sleepwalk. I never had sleep paralysis. Our CO detectors were regularly checked by the city, and I have no history of mental illness. Swear to God it happened. Edit. Forgot to mention that it had tawny skin, like the color of a faded leather jacket, and a rather bulbous nose. Not unnaturally so, more like old human person kind of large. It also had a wide mouth, but again, not unnaturally so. Think Aerosmith.
Okay. That's it?
That's from a Reddit user. Okay. I don't even know.
I have 3 comments. 1, the way she described the face, I've been trying to figure out like how to describe it, and all I can think, I know I'm on a Lord of the Rings kick, but like the dwarves from The Hobbit,
yep,
their faces, like that wide mouth, the big nose.
I love Think Aerosmith.
That's comment number 1. Yes, Aerosmith is great too. Comment number 2, I don't know why, but the fact that it make like little tippy tappies like your dog's nails, for some reason that just like sends some shivers.
So sorry,
it's like just like tip tapping around, and like how many times have you been in your bed at night and you hear that and you think it's your dog, but then like your dog's sleeping next to you? Like when I had dogs, I dealt with that a lot.
Yeah,
probably Puckwudgies.
3. Comment
number 3. I 100% believe her, and here is why. she could have put any details in that story, but her exclamation when she realized and said, "You're not the dog," is such a human. You're not Jade. It's such a human reaction, right? Because it reminds me of like any time in my life where I've actually been completely like
in terror
or in like high state of just my surroundings. I don't know the right word for it.
No, yeah, I know what you mean.
I
like
just
distress.
Start saying just completely obvious things. Like the first time a bear ran out in front of my car when we moved up north, me in the car by myself go, "That's a bear." Talking to nobody else, right? But like, you're just so like flabbergasted and your brain isn't working that you just scream something so obvious. And that actually gives me brownie points to believe her story.
Yeah. So that actually reminds me, because remember when we dived into Bat Squatch and that that one, and we were like going back and forth of like if it was believable, like the letter or whatever it was. But the one thing that I was like, this is so random that you wouldn't think to write, and it made me believe it, is that he was like, when that one Bat Squatch got hurt, and he's like, I thought to myself, oh my God, should I go help it? And then you're like, wait, no, what? That's a creature, a monster. It's stuff like that.
It's like those little things that just humanize them. Like that is a totally, it seems like the not normal reaction, but that is how a human would react.
That's why I picked this one. I mean, there was several, but that's why I picked this one, because I felt like it felt really real. And to your point, those type of details. What's creepy to me, and I have goosebumps now thinking about it, is that it's so creepy because the way that she wrote it, and she didn't say this, but to me, it was shape-shifting into Jade at first until she really looked at it and was like, oh my God, that's not Jade. So I think at first it was like looking like her dog until it like showed like its real
somehow
self.
The illusion got broken.
And then it started like waddling towards her with its hands out. Ew. Ew. I would die. Okay.
Do they ever talk?
Oh, you know what? I think, well, I would imagine, but I guess I didn't read anything other than the fact that they do lure you in by like sounding like your loved ones and stuff. I think so. But honestly, in my head, I just thought they made like, like, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
Like their own little language. That's a really good question. I'm really mad at myself that I never like looked that up. I guess I just assumed because they did coincide with the Wampanoag tribe that they spoke to them.
Well, I'm sort of thinking back to like the Wendigos or the flesh pedestrians, right? Like those are the things that are also trying to lure you out by like shouting your name or using a familiar voice.
I guess I don't
wonder.
Talk.
Huh.
I don't know.
Okay.
That's really weird.
Go on.
No. Okay. So yeah. So we definitely think that story is true. I do. I believe her.
Am I becoming less of a skeptic?
Right. Just to give credit, I'm not even going to try to figure this out. It's KAALITENOHIRA. That's her username. And that story was written, I think it was like 8 years ago. So it wasn't like too fresh, but you know. Okay. Right. But wait, I have one more.
But wait, there's more.
But wait, I just have one more. Are you ready? My sister and I seen one when we were little kids sharing a bunk bed. I was maybe 3 or 4 years old and she was 6 or 7 years old. We were just laying in bed at night, getting ready to sleep, when something caught our eye. It was a 3-foot grayish blue figure with elongated ears and nose. Kind of looked like Dobby, but had longer spiky hair and Indian-type clothing. It walked from the side of the wall into the middle of the room, stopped and looked at us for a brief second, then looked forward and continued to walk through the wall. I remember looking down to the lower bunk after it disappeared and asking my old sister if she's seen what I saw. She agreed. We saw the same thing. Her and I have always vividly remembered this throughout the years. I am 34 now and she is 37, and we still recall this night. Interestingly, a few years ago, I was watching a ghost hunting show, and they did things a little differently. I believe it was a college group. They didn't just tell you had a ghost, but they actually pinpointed what type of spirit it was based upon the type of haunting traits it had. Anyways, halfway through the show, they said the ghost was called a Puckwudgie. It didn't catch my attention at first until they started describing it. This is what, oh my God. Was a two.
You got this.
No, I'm reading it the way it is. Is what it says. It was a 2 to 3 foot grayish, glowing figure that resembled a smaller troll with long nose and fingers and ears. I perked up immediately as I knew I have seen a similar one before. Did a Google search on Puckwudgies and seen a few images, and holy shit, mind blown. That was the exact same figure my sister and I saw as kids. I teared up, not in fear, but in fascination and uneasiness. I didn't say anything to my sister. I sent her a picture via text of the Puckwudgie with no other text. She responded, "Holy shit, how did you find this? That's the exact thing we've seen as kids." Even more interesting is the place we lived at was said to have an Indian burial ground in the area. I always thought it was just a way to scare the kids of ghosts, but it all makes sense now. I haven't had any encounters since, but it still hits me every now and then what I've seen, and I start researching more. Not sure I'd like to encounter one again, but it definitely makes me a believer of the netherworld, such as fairies and trolls, etc., that have been described in the earliest of literature. Very interesting stuff. And that is from intelligent_speech_4. And I believe that one too.
Okay. That one kind of gives me, it really draws in the elemental or the fae kind of feeling of it, right? Because it has those like non-ethereal properties.
Yeah. I guess she didn't necessarily describe it to me where I would have thought it was the Puckwudgie, but then when she saw the pictures of the Puckwudgies, that's what she knew she saw, if that makes sense.
Right. And I guess like that's the thing though, if they can shift, like nobody's going to see the exact same thing.
Exactly. And it just kind of popped through the wall. Whoop.
Yeah, that part's so weird.
Puckwudgies.
I like how sometimes though they decide to fuck with people, and other times I'll never not hear the hot pocket.
I know, but this one is so funny because it just looked at them and was just like, meh, and then just went on its way because it, like, again, like I said, if you just ignore it, they might just be like, okay, whatever. I guess the girl with the dog, I mean, it started waddling at her.
Yeah, but that one started, it waddles. Which, like, why do all cryptid, mysterious creature things, why are none of them good on their feet? Mothman, nightcrawlers, Puckwudgies.
That's a really good question. I think because they prefer to not walk. Well, I guess nightcrawlers only do that.
Yeah, but not well.
No, I know, but I was just thinking, because, like, Mothman flies most often. Puckwudgies can just, like, plop, shoot around as a fireball. So, I mean...
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's not really a long one, but it's one that you've been wanting. My little Puckwudgies.
I have been wanting it.
I still feel like I would want to see one. I think that I could treat the Puckwudgies right, and they could be my little friends.
Well, when you come to me one day with your eyebrows burnt off because you tried to befriend the Puckwudgies, don't come crying to me, asking me to suck the poison out of your wounds.
I know, and here's where your mom's going to be like, what the hell? Because they're basically...
Yeah, their faces are gnomes, basically.
I think and they are actually really creepy looking. They're not cute. They are not cute. I don't know why. I just like that they have little porcupine spines.
Did I tell you what Nick bought Mom for Christmas?
No. Did you?
It was a set of make your own like knitted ornaments.
No.
Yarn ornaments, but they were all gnome heads. You almost got the same one.
Oh my God, I hate you guys. That's cute for her. For her. Not for me. All right, dude. That's Puckwudgies. What are your final thoughts?
Well, good job. My final thoughts, I'm being non-skeptic these last few weeks. One, fully believe in these ones. I do think they are more like elemental or fae. I don't think they're like a past living thing. I think they're something that's probably been of the earth for a long time. And I like that they're just kind of like goofy little tricksters.
Here's what makes me sad.
Will push you off a cliff and kill you.
Shoot you with poisonous arrows. This is what makes me sad. Is I don't like that they just like got jealous because they weren't getting the love and attention that they were. Like that makes me sad that they just have this like jealousy, revenge, and like
now they're forever jaded.
They forever hate humans because of it. And I'm like, oh, you little Puckwudgies.
Honestly, more species should probably forever hate humans.
Well, this is true.
So I don't blame them.
Actually, you're right. Maybe that's why I identify with them so much because they hate humans. Little shits. Just like shooting arrows, poking people.
Well, nice job.
Thank you.
I will now make sure I keep my eyes out for them and ignore them.
Yeah, don't actually keep your eyes out for them. Because if you just
I mean, I'll have to keep my eye out for them because I don't want to like accidentally kick him first.
Oh, yeah. They can be Puckwudgie women too, I guess.
Puck people.
Puck people. Oh, Puck people. Oh my God, I'm obsessed.
All right, cool. Good job.
Thanks.
I've been waiting for that one. I'm surprised I haven't looked it up. It takes me so much effort to like keep things a surprise. Awesome. All right. If you have ever ran across a Puckwudgie or any other strange little woodland creatures, little men who disappear into the woods, we want to know.
Oh.
If you feel so inclined,
little wild men of the woods that vanishes.
And if you think Kara, the little woman of the woods, you're not sorry. Well, every time I say you're not a woods person, you yell at me and say you are naturey. But anyways, if you think Kara did a good job, long story short, I think you should go and leave her a review on our podcast.
Oh, wow. Thanks.
Yes. Tell her how good she did.
Thanks.
All right. What else should the people do?
Write in some ideas, thoughts of what they would like to hear. It's now the new year. What are your new things? What's new in our lives that we're working towards? What are we doing with our lives this 2024?
And it's a new year, so if you haven't told Kara she's pretty yet this year, now might be a good time.
Okay, anyway, that's it. So do all those things. We really love and appreciate you. Sorry this was a shorter episode, but you got your Puckwudgies. And that's it. So thanks. Goodbye. And most importantly, creepy real eyeballs.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Oddity Shop.